I call this one "The Goal is to Crash Out." This is Thoughts from 5D. I'm Otis 5D. So I have, if you check the timeline, I have taken a bit of what do you call those things? Not a vacay, but like a sabbatical, something like that. And I've been in my little cocoon, preparing, I guess, unknowingly to crash out. And I've sort of been rehearsing my crash out for a couple days on Rumble. And I actually want to give thanks. I always talk about how evil and how YouTube is and how much I hate it. But I actually want to give thanks to YouTube because I realize that it's going to force me to color inside the lines a bit, because I have ideas, so many ideas that are very far outside the Overton window, and the expression of those ideas often comes off as crazy, because to express it's almost like a tautological fact that to express ideas publicly while live streaming that are outside the Overton window is it's unnerving. It's anxiety producing, because definitionally the Overton window is like what's acceptable to say. So and I just remember seeing Patrick Bet-David on Fresh and Fit a long time ago, and he was talking about, in his typical PBD speaking style, hey guys, tell me this. What's the most dangerous profession in the world? And that kind of like, okay, dude, just tell us. And eventually he's like, being a truth teller, And I agree. Shouts to PBD. So you get Tate and whatever. So anyway, it's just so interesting and auspicious that Ye has fully crashed out on Twitter in the most beautiful way. He like, there's this idea in astrology that people that are very in touch with the outer planets of Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, they have a very archetypal relationship with reality and humanity. They feel humanity, and they sort of embody, they become the vessel through which the archetypal nature of reality of human society manifests itself through their words, deeds, and actions. And so I feel like Ye's crashing out is it's a very archetypal thing, because we are in an almost unfathomably tumultuous time, chaotic time, filled with so much exponential change and so much apocalyptic revealing of what a manufactured fake and gay reality. I think I should probably stop saying fake and gay for the sake of my life on YouTube. And I think I'm okay with that. I think I don't really need to use that phrase. What a manufactured reality we've been inside of. And I personally have been very suspicious, I would like to say aware of this for a long time. Certainly going back at least to 2016 and Pizzagate, and I think for quite a while before then. And the challenge is that at that time, when I would talk about these things, there were very few other people who were like, yeah, I know. Most people were like, no, you're crazy and stupid for believing conspiracy theories that you read on the internet because you don't have any discernment. And so the beauty of what is being uncovered, in fact, it's shocking to me that I have to say that, like, it's possible that not every single person watching this video has any idea what I'm talking about, but basically this organization called USAID has effectively been uncovered as a money laundering front for the broadly, I'm trying to be neutral, for kind of like Democrat talking points all over the world, and Democrat initiatives, liberal initiatives all over the world. And so the fake news has been the mainstream media. And obviously, like, duh, but now this is sort of like indisputable. This is like just the facts on the ground, and anyone who disagrees with it, they're the crazy person now, because you can literally just look at the line item on the budget and see that this is exactly what has been going on with the funding. So anyway, I went off on, many tangents there, and to kind of like try to reel it back in a bit, there are a lot of things that, in my opinion, really need to be talked about that need to get inside the Overton window that are not inside the Overton window. And definitely one of the biggest ones is Israel and Zionism and Jewish people, and the role of Jewish people in global civilization. And I have had many interesting conversations on this topic over the past month or so, and I have found that, like, without question, the more this comes inside the Overton window, the more nuanced the reality is. Meaning, the fear is that anti-Semitism is like some mind virus that if you start talking about the role of Zionism or Israel or Jewish people, then all of a sudden there are going to be gas chambers, right? This is bullshit. This is fully a bullshit idea that is used in the same way that, like, Blake Lively is using Me Too to excuse her bad behavior. This is used as a way to excuse bad behavior by Jewish people, right? And the reality that I have experienced is that as this comes inside the Overton window, the history is very multifaceted. Pogroms in Russia, the Bolsheviks, were how Jewish were the Bolsheviks. Okay, I think it's like I want to go deep, but I feel like this is not the video to go deep. But the point is that this topic is extremely important. The relationship between America and Israel, which is playing out like every day. The amount, like, every movie studio is run by a Jewish person. Almost every Ivy League university president is a Jewish person. The New York Times, the CNN, the media at large, and the music industry. And the question is like, first of all, it needs to be totally normal to talk about this. That is step one. The professional sports owners, the gambling industry, the pornography industry, and the reason it needs to be normal is because it makes you feel crazy and become radicalized when you're told, don't trust your lying eyes. It would be like saying, hey, the NFL and the NBA and the rap music industry is like, it's dominated by black people. And people say, whoa, don't talk about that because, the history of slavery, that's very dangerous to go there. And then it's like, wait, there's something weird because it's so obvious that they're all black people, right? And it's the thing that's interesting about the distinction between black people and Jewish people is with black people, it's so obvious because their skin color is different. With Jewish people, it's less obvious. That's like a whole other issue. But anyway, the point is that I think that we are at a time where we just need a permanent, no, I don't want to say what we just need. I just need to crash out permanently. And what I mean by that is that I feel that there are extremely important things that need to be talked about, and they need to be normalized. The discussion of them needs to be normalized. And so what's another one, right? Because it's like, well, wait, all you've said is like Jewish people. the transhumanism is another one. You know, the relationship of the technological revolutions happening all around us with artificial intelligence and robotics and drones and chip implants into brains and, you know, 5G, whether that means surveillance or whether that means kind of just like instantaneous global communication all over the world. I guess that was redundant, global, all over the world. But and like, where is this leading? Is this leading somewhere that we want to go? And does Kevin Kelly, who is the founder of Wired Magazine, among many other things, has a book called What Technology Wants. And one of the core theses of that book is that technology has its own sort of will. It has its own inherent biases. Maybe the easy way to understand this is that Peter Thiel talks about the fact that artificial intelligence is communist and crypto is libertarian or anarchic, maybe. And now, whether or not that's true, it's just a point that different technologies have different biases, and all of these technologies about brain implants and robotics and artificial intelligence, like, there's no guarantee that the transformation that they lead to, if we go into it uncritically, is a good transition, that we will be happy that we chose. And the reason that this is so important is because the political shift that has gone on in America, and obviously America affects the entire politics of the world, is that a kind of technocratic elite has risen to power. Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and Mark Andreessen, among many others, David Sachs. And I, at first glance, like, I love these people. These are like, yeah, the freaking broligarchs. At second glance, I'm way more hesitant, and I'm not very sure at all. I'm very skeptical, in fact, of this movement. Something seems not quite right about it. It's like it just doesn't pass the sniff test to me. And so what that means to me is that more things have to come inside the Overton window. And then the last thing I'll say, which I think it is going to maybe come off as like a total non sequitur, and it may sort of like crater my whole kind of logical point that I'm making now, is Candace Owens' expose on Brigitte Macron and the very mysterious situationship of Brigitte and Emmanuel Macron, and the really distinct possibility that, yes, indeed, Brigitte Macron is a man, and that point being, like, we have been being deceived potentially on an enormous scale, like very bewildering scale, much more than the governmental corruption, which is already bewildering. It's like bewildering squared. And then the last thing that I'll throw in there, which I think is great because it's getting inside the Overton window now, which I think is great, actually, is UFOs and extraterrestrials and all of this stuff, which I don't think is going away at all. And I think that's like riding parallel and maybe will turn out to be the most important of all of these trends when all is said and done, but remains to be seen. And the thing I love about, I think this is like a perfect coming full circle of this whole point, is that as UFOs have entered the mainstream and into the Overton window, the meme culture and the dialogue that surrounds them has kind of like taken the edge off. In the same way, now talking about fat people or gay people or feminists or LGBT, like, people have heard so many jokes at this point that it's just not that big a deal. You're not really going to shock anyone anymore. And people may either write you off or, you know, they think you're dumb or, you know, what, propagandized or whatever. But it's just not that big a deal. Life goes on, right? But these things of specifically, like, is the technocratic elite a good thing, and is Zionism and or Israel and or the kind of like really over-indexed amount of powerful positions held by people of Jewish descent all over the world, is that like awesome? Is that good? Is that does that give, you know, does that give one pause? And I made a whole video about that topic, and you can watch that video for like a deeper dive into that. But regardless, the point is, I have to say that this is kind of funny. I think probably because I'm on YouTube. I really thought when I started this video that I was just gonna like fully crash out, and it's like, oh shit, this dude went fucking nuts. And then in fact, I just make some more like kind of just intellectual whatever video. But regardless, I think, you know, maybe that's who I actually am, you know, once I get over my like autistic, you know, raging and screaming and, you know, yelling, is just this guy who talks like this. But the point really, TLDW, is we really can't allow anything to not be inside the Overton window now. We really, it's not acceptable anymore, because we have been lied to and deceived on such an intense scale that no topic, whether that's UFOs or anti-Semitism or transhumanism, deserves to not be examined up close and personal. So if I don't know, that's like I guess that, dude, it's so funny. You know, it's like one of these things where I really thought this video was going to be like this, just not necessarily that it was going to be received in any particular way, but it was going to be so crazy. And actually, it's just a continuation. But I think that the what I can say is that there is a demarcation line here where I'm like, this is what's important to me. I'm not going to stop talking about it. I'm going to keep talking about it. I'm going to go deeper and deeper on these subjects, because I think that they can tip human civilization. And it's not necessarily that I will do that, but that the more people that are speaking about these things, the more normal it becomes to speak about these things, and then the edge comes off, and we can actually begin to have more interesting and nuanced conversations. Because the reality is that things are very nuanced. Once they're inside the Overton window, now the nuance gets introduced. So come to the website, check out what I have to offer, and go fuck yourself. Peace.
Otis5D.xyz.
Go fuck yourself.